The Georgia athletes are pumping up the Georgia fans here at Bartow Arena, and with good cause. Here is the fourth rotation draw, and for the first time, the two teams that have gone head-to-head in this SEC Championships are both in action. And we'll see Corey Fritzinger in floor exercise.
And if there's an event where her stress reaction will affect her, it's this event. A lot of tough takeoffs and landings, and endurance could be a problem. No difficulty there.
She's added a little more hardware to her right ankle.
Some twisting, 2.5 twists.
Oh.
She comes in a little short. Nice cover up.
A couple of quick little steps there, but it was easy to see that she either experienced a little bit of pain or she was short on the landing and just had to step out of it. Fritz is such a determined competitor. She's going to give it everything she has and smile through the pain, if any.
Here we go, last pass, a nice deep breath. Finishing with a double twist, punch front. Another unstable landing.
Corey Fritzinger trying to make the best of it here in floor exercise. Now a little bit of the disappointment that she may be feeling over that performance, and a 9.75 score, very low for Corey Fritzinger. Nevertheless, they'll have to take it.
You can definitely see that her leg hindered her here. This middle pass was short on rotation. Her shoulders were way behind her feet. Lucky they didn't slip out from under her. There will be a small deduction there, but not quite the 5/10 that she could have had.
Marie Baer, once again, with her season high of 9.925, prepares to go on the balance beam for Bama. And once again, it is Alabama and Georgia at the head of things here in this third rotation. Third rotation for each of those teams, we should say.
Difficult front aerial, back handspring.
Oops.
Slight wobble there. Another front element, front handspring. Showing off her flexibility and her beautiful lines. Take a look at that toe point.
Beautiful lines indeed, even on the balance beam, which can sometimes be a very awkward apparatus.
It's definitely a tough event, and a tough event to compete. These athletes do a tremendous amount of numbers in the gym, training their muscle memory, and the dismount, a unique one, gainer pike off the end.
Very nicely done for Marie Baer. And a 9.825 on balance beam is very fine indeed.
Taking a look at her flexibility there, 180-degree split in both of those jumps. Her hips turn slightly in the straddle jump, a slight bobble there.
To Florida's Orly Smooch, freshman of the year last season, and uneven parallel bars.
She's known for her unique elements. Take a look at this one. It's a ginger done between the bars, so risky. Back salto down to the low bar. Giant full right into her dismount, way above the bar. A little bit of a deep knee bend on the landing.
But Orly Smooch, with another fine performance, stays in the thick of the individual all-around competition with a 9.825. And Coach Fain over there to congratulate her, rightly so.
Remember, Florida is one of the top bar teams in the country. They were ranked #1 for 4 consecutive weeks earlier this season.
Arkansas is in the house, and yes, Dana McQuillan is a freshman. They all are.
Handspring front pike. Oh, what a landing.
Very nice. And Coach Cook over there to congratulate her. 9.8 for Dana McQuillan. These freshmen continue to impress.
This vault is scored out of a 9.9. And Brian, take a look at her face on the landing. I think she surprised even herself. This whole competition is full of surprises for this young Arkansas team.
She's one of the favorites of the Bama team, including Kristen Sterner, who Coach Sarah Patterson says is one of their mainstays.
She's our rock. Always has been, physically, mentally. She's one of the strongest emotional competitors that I've ever worked with, and you know, to have those two, I think, leading us is great.
Along with Gina Rice and Kristen Sterner, and Gina Rice, both competitors in the individual all-around here this evening.
And once again on that mount, living up to her nickname, the Rock, very solid.
A solid contributor to Bama's program throughout her career, and yet she has been kind of in the shadow of some of her more noted teammates, perhaps like Andrea Pickens and more recently Gina Rice.
It's definitely her character. You know, she's not quite as flamboyant as some of the superstars we've seen on this Alabama team, but she's comfortable there. She works hard in the gym and in the classroom, and she gets the job done when they need her.
High score of 9.925 on balance beam this season. Friendly confines of her teammates at the base of the apparatus, but a lot of Georgia fans in the stands in that end of the gym.
It's important for them to stay inside their bubble, for her to feel her teammates on the side, to focus on them and what she has to do and not what the crowd is doing. There's definitely a lot of excitement in this arena right now. They're competing against the noise from the Georgia fans and their floor music. Big dismount, an E-level skill that's been upgraded in collegiate gymnastics.
Little step out at a 9.875, not quite up to her season high, but a very good score for Kristen Sterner and the Alabama team.
She started this routine off so strong with this D-mount and front tuck, so solid. She definitely is a rock.
Junior Kristen Stuckey for the University of Florida in action on the uneven parallel bars. That itself is quite an accomplishment.
Yes, if you remember back to last year at this competition, she made her debut, her collegiate debut on this event. She's had multiple surgeries on her knees, and now the doctors okayed her this year to compete on balance beam as well, and she's been a tremendous competitor for the Gators. Just beautiful on this event. Finishing up strong, giant full double tuck.
Doesn't get any better than that in terms of dismount. Looking good on the apparatus too. And a 9.9, very nearly perfect for Kristen Stuckey of Florida.
Take a look at this first release move. Almost perfect technique into this delta. She taps it up with a half, then the flip. Beautiful job.
Georgia's Sierra Sapinar coming up. Another junior. And Sierra out of Cincinnati, Ohio, makes the long trip down to Athens, Georgia to be a part of this Gym Dog team.
Part of that class, that junior class that Georgia is very heavily depending on to put up the big score. She can score well on this event, opening with a front double twist.
Georgia on floor, Alabama on beam. You would think that matchup would favor Georgia, and yet Bama has been putting up some terrific scores on the balance beam. And here on floor exercise, Georgia has been giving up a tenth or two here and there. There might be another one with Corey Fritzinger, and Michelle Emmons, who we did not see, stepped out of bounds. So they're really kind of hurting themselves a little bit.
We're definitely seeing some deductions on their landings. Suzanne noted that they had some problems with their bar dismounts, and again, we're seeing some deductions on their landings. On the floor exercise, Suzanne said they had to step it up here on floor. I'm not sure if they're getting the job done.
Well, it's very difficult to tell because the scores with the rotations and the buys and so on, but at this point, Georgia, after 2 rotations for each team, Georgia and Alabama, had a slight lead, but now we're thinking that Alabama is kind of taking the lead back.
Last pass, Rudy, back layout.
Sierra Sapinar finishing up her floor exercise. Let's wait for the scores and see if we don't see, once again, a 9.9. So whatever little mistake that we saw, the judges did not deduct very seriously for, and Sierra Sapinar comes out with a very nice score. Sure seems like a seesaw battle going on here tonight.